Hello there, welcome to Talking Balearics with me, Martin Mapeys, here in a very hot and humid Ibiza.
Oh, Mark, I'm in Mallorca. I don't know what to do.
Do you know what? Do you know what I've been doing, Rich?
Do.
I've been hiding away in the aircon for 3 days, and every time I go out, I can't believe how hot it is. And then I just come back in and switch the aircon back on again. It's the only way, isn't it?
It is. I mean, listen, we probably say it every year. It's hotter than that. Hotter than that. It wasn't as hot as this last year, but blimey, this is warm, Mark.
But Rich, I can't. I mean, I don't know if it's age or well, it probably is age, but I can't ever remember this hot, humid. Rich, can you?
Listen, I definitely think it probably has been, of course, Mike. And yes, you're right. Age is not helping us being on the wrong side of that number, whatever it is. But yeah, wow. I think a lot of people are complaining. Even the Spanish are complaining that it's too hot. So,
I mean, I'm actually thinking about going back to England to get some respite. Rich.
Well, but you're not gonna. That's the thought. I was thinking of doing the same, and then I thought to myself, "But hang on a minute," and they're not prepared for it at all, are they?
No, horrendous. Man. At least here I've got the aircon and I've got the view as well. Anyway, Rich, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Apart from that,
I like waiting 2 hours for you. By the way,
yeah. Sorry, I've once again, my time didn't really sort of work out how I wanted it to work out today. But anyway, so we're all good, Mark. We're all good.
Well, I've just had a major concern, Rich. The reason I'm an hour late now is because there's a big forest fire just down the road, and I panicked.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, really bad one, Rich. I've got to tell you, it's a really, really bad one, and it's the whole side of a mountain in San Jose, which is close to a house of mine. So I've just panicked and just gone down there, and luckily for me, it's not that close to my house, although electricity's off at the moment, which is to be expected. But it looks pretty bad, Rich. It's that time of year, isn't it? So it's just so hot, and I just hope it isn't somebody playing silly buggers, Rich. I really do, because I mean, there's no excuses there in this at this temperature. There really isn't. How's Mallorca, mate?
Well, the same. It's hot, it's sweaty, but it's July. What do you expect? We're already through the middle. Well, we're into the middle part of July already. Do you know what I mean? Kids break up the end of this week, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
So it's only going to get busier for the next sort of 6 weeks or so. And just as it's getting busier, we have a tourism sustainability protest going on, Mark. There you go. July the 26th.
Yeah.
July the 26th. So I've blogged about it this week, and I've got a few things I just want to say to you about it during the course of today's pod. I've also got new EU baggage rules, and if you've seen this story,
I heard it on the radio this morning. Yeah.
What, you're listening to me, of course.
Of course. I heard it on Wave Radio, so that's my favourite. I listen to every morning.
I know, as lots of other people do. A little skip for somebody that, or people that are in the UK thinking of coming over here for a holiday, with regards to the shop Zara, which I know is a very, very popular shop for quite a lot of people. So I wanted to talk about that.
A bit of Zara, mate. I'd love a bit of Zara.
Yeah, and listen, we can't not talk about the football, Mark, because obviously,
of course,
when we're recording this particular podcast, we are it's now 20-6. It's 3 hours from basically tonight's semi-final between Spain and France.
Yeah, and obviously tomorrow's big one between England and Argentina. So
yes,
my nerves are shot, Rich. They're shot, and as you can see, I didn't get to Miami as well at the end.
No,
of the day.
You didn't get to Miami.
Exactly. It was a shame, but these things happen. I've got a good story about it, which I'll tell you about when you got it anyway. So, Rich, for me this week, I've just got some numbers in from Ibiza Airport. I'm a bit of a stato. So numbers have been released this week for Ibiza Airport for June, which are very, very interesting. A little thing about Airbnb, another repetitive subject that we talk about on this podcast, but again, more news from it. Marcos Serra, the mayor of San Antonio, has made a big announcement, which I blogged about today, which you may have seen, which I'll go into that. And my little extra story today is Legend of the Seas, Rich. I messaged you. I've done a bit of research about Legend of the Seas, which is the largest cruise ship in the world, which had its maiden voyage from Mallorca last week. So we'll talk about that as well.
Well, it's a subject that keeps coming back, Mark, and it's tourism sustainability. That's something that I know we've talked about, and we both feel the same. We both feel that it has to be something that we need to look at seriously, but in a positive way, not in a negative way. And talking of negatives, then the tourism protest is going to be happening in 2 weeks' time in Palma. It's July the 26th. It's a Sunday. So what it will do to Palma on a Sunday is, I don't think when it says it's going to sort of create havoc and bring Palma to a standstill. Not many people go into Palma on a Sunday from a tourist point of view anyway, unless there's a cruise ship in, of course. I'm not quite sure who planned that, but that's down to them. But I think more than anything, and I have wrote about this week. This is the part that I found unbelievable, because obviously I agree to people. I allow people to protest. That's their right. That's their given right, and everything else. But I think the people that are planning this protest have lost all credibility. I don't know if you've heard about this story, but
I've heard their manual for disrupting and being.
There you go. That's
doing
it. The
things.
manual.
I
the
saw
manual.
That, yeah.
The manual for disruption. So basically, they've come up with these 4 plans or 4 sort of notes that they've sent out to their people to say identifying and avoiding security cameras when targeting a business. So basically, what they want to do is they want to target holiday rental properties, apartments and villas utilised for short-term tourist accommodation. They also want to target hotels and resorts, major hotel chains, and infrastructure catering to mass tourism, and real estate agencies, firms facilitating property investments and second home purchases for international buyers.
So basically, the complete mechanics of your economy, Rich, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And an economy which I imagine each of those protesters has somebody who's working in those particular
100%, absolutely
working in those particular industry
100%
well, will know,
guaranteed.
A family member or a friend or whatever. So what they're trying to do is, or what they've said is, they identify and avoid security cameras when targeting a business, scanning area for police presence and checking for plainclothes officers, tactical advice on avoiding personal identification by authorities, and carrying out direct actions such as graffiti, vandalism, and property displacement. This document came out. It was obviously made aware to the authorities. There was a lot of outcry, of course, from different angles, particularly the government and everything else. There were talks they were saying that they might actually put we call it a denuncia. What do you call it? I don't know what the word is in English.
It's an official complaint, isn't it?
Official complaint, basically, against the people that did it. Although I think that's calmed down a little bit now, and I think a lot of people have distanced themselves, unions and everything else have distanced themselves. So I don't think it's actually started off too well for them, really, to be perfectly honest, by hearing and seeing this document. But I just find it amazing that, in this day and age, if these people are sensible about sustainability and everything else, then why not come up with some ideas to actually help this problem, rather than coming up with things that are just not going to help it in one way, shape, form, or another?
Well, what they're talking about, Rich, is anarchy, isn't it? That's what they're talking about. Totally. It's not protest, it's anarchy. And again, I would suspect it's a very minority of radicals who put this together, and they're giving everybody, listen, we've all got concerns about sustainability, Rich. Of course we have. I mean, I was having this argument with somebody the other day. How many homes can we build? How many roads can we build? How many wells are going to go dry? Of course, we've got to think about sustainability. However, vandalizing somebody for going around their legal workplace or legally doing what they're allowed to do, it just doesn't make any sense. He said it's not just credibility, Rich. I mean, you should arrest these people because they're inciting violence. It's as simple as that. They're inciting violence, and you should find out who wrote it, and you should arrest them and make an example of it and say, I'm with you, Rich. We're all for peaceful protest. I absolutely believe in the right to protest, even if you're a loony left and I don't agree with what you're doing or saying. I believe in your right, just like I believe in your democratic right to vote and to vote for whoever you want to vote. So, protest by all means, but also let's have an argument about it, Rich, because this doesn't seem very balanced to me.
No, not at all. And I sort of then went into what's actually happened so far. Obviously, we've got cruise ship restrictions. I don't know if you have them in Ibiza, but only 3 a day can come in, of which only one can be one of these mega ships. Yeah. I know we're going to talk about one of these mega ships a little bit later on in the pod today. Accommodation freezes. Local updates for 2026 show a complete halt on constructing new youth hostels and tourist apartment rentals in the capital city of Palma. Capacity targets. The Balearic government has explicitly set caps to prevent total visitor numbers across the archipelago from exceeding historical thresholds, and also the ban on basically the fact that you can't place a property, which we talked about this last week. You can't place a property on Airbnb without an official tourist license now. And actually, in actual fact, in Palma, the tourist licenses there are no more. Nobody can rent a property unless you're doing it illegally, of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it goes into my first segment, Rich, because we talk about sustainability, but the numbers are out for Ibiza Airport this week. And guess what? It's a record-breaking month of June. Over 1.29 million passengers went through the airport in June, and that's 11,000 flights. So despite the political debate and everybody up in arms about tourism limits. Demand is growing and growing, and Iena, who I got no love for whatsoever, the airport operator, don't seem to care. They've even put plans in to expand Ibiza Airport again, Rich. And what they're saying is, we want to expand the airport, but we don't want any more flights. That's absolute rubbish. Of course they want flights. They don't care about the environment, Rich, do they? At all. So what we've got is we've got different government offices fighting against different government offices. So, 1 minute we're celebrating because we've got record numbers, and then the next minute we've got riots on the streets because there's too many people arriving. So, we've got to have a common sense debate about it, Rich. And I'm all for it. I mean, I don't think any new houses should be built. I think we should look to re-registered old houses and modify what we've got. So if there's old blocks out there, let's turn them into housing. Let's turn the offices and the old shops into houses. Let's put incentives there as well. But at the end of the day, where's it all going, Rich? Because as I said, one part of the government wants it to rise and the other part wants it to go lower. So we're in a bit of a catch-22 situation. And these loony lefties who want to vandalise a business for going about their day aren't helping at all.
No, one thing I just want to add to this, Mark, obviously people should know that our sort of Balearic government is run by the PP in coalition with Vox, but the national government is obviously run by PSOE in coalition with a lot of very small parties to keep them in a majority. But so what's happened is obviously that the PP have led with these sort of proposals to try and limit tourism and everything else. And then the government on the mainland has created this moratorium to all these illegals that are living here in Mallorca, and I imagine in Ibiza as well. They've offered 500,000 people the opportunity to become basically legal, if that makes sense. So far, 34,000 people in Mallorca have come forward to say that they're not legal. So two things that trouble me here is that the one is that obviously we're allowing this for one, because and two is what happened to the checks on all these people, and it makes you wonder how many more people. These are only the people that have signed up, 34,000 of them. How many more hundreds, thousands of people are there out there that don't actually want the authorities to know they're here?
Absolutely, Rich, and that puts pressure on the housing. It puts pressure on the infrastructure.
Exactly.
I mean, it really is a conundrum at the moment because we all want growth, we all want wealth, we want to be very happy and earn as much money as we can. But there's got to be a limit somewhere. There really has, because at the end of the day, Rich, something's got to give. And if we're giving these people more powers and and more, I mean, the illegals. I mean, it's bizarre. It's not going to be 500,000, Rich. It's going to be 1 million by the time they finished it. By the way,
I'm sure.
Yeah, they're going to be 1 million. So it's a real. It's a situation, Rich. I'm not sure where it's going, Rich. And as I said, in the meantime, we're empowering these loony lefties to graffiti people's businesses, and we're almost giving, fanning the flames, aren't we, by making more people come into the islands, more stress on the housing, more stress on the infrastructure, and I don't know where it's going, Rich. I really don't. It's a worrying time, Rich. It really is.
Move on.
Yeah, Airbnb, Rich.
Oh yes.
Again, we got it all kind of segues in this week, Rich, because Airbnb there's been a little bit of a count of Airbnb, and they've realised that Airbnb isn't as powerful as it once was on the island. Now, this goes down to many things, but I think people are just, you pay such a commission to Airbnb. I pay a commission to them to rent my thing, and then the client pays a commission to them to actually rent it as well. So it's a bit like the auctioneers. They get double bubble, don't they? And I think there's a bit of pushback. Airbnb numbers are going down in Ibiza because people have just had enough of it. What they're doing is they're going direct to owners. They're going off own websites. They're looking at more other booking platforms which aren't as expensive as Airbnb. So is it good news? I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Airbnb, Rich. I think it's kind of the young buck on the I said that right, didn't I? The young buck on the
not the people listening on medium wave, Mark. No, but anyway, go on.
There's quite a few of them as well. A young buck on the ranch, and they really kind of ripped up the rule book, Rich, and they basically said you can rent anything, but no, you can't. You've got to rent something that's got a license now. And I think people have wised up to it. They're sick to death of paying the expensive charges. I do a bit of Airbnb, and I kind of dread Airbnb, Rich, because the people who bought with Airbnb are very different. They're quite entitled. They They know how to trade on their reviews. They say, if you don't do this, I'm going to give you a bad review. And it's, you feel like they're over leveraged in certain situations. So, I think it's a good thing. People should go direct to owner wherever they can. Don't go on scammy websites, by the way. Don't pay bank transfers to dodgy accounts in Colombia or dodgy accounts in Argentina or wherever. I would do it through friends and family, go to contacts, people who you know and trust. And, let's get these cowboys out in the market. And if more money goes to the owners, then more money goes to the taxman and more money goes to the island. So, just think of it that way.
Agreed. Recent EU and European Council agreements mandate that airlines operating in the EU and UK must include one small carry-on bag up to 7 kilos, maximum of 100 centimetres, and one personal item under their seat within the basic ticket price, completely free of charge. This ruling effectively outlaws separate cabin baggage fees, standardising free carry-ons for European travellers. I thought I was aware of the fact that we all were allowed a small carry-on bag anyway, well, particularly with the low cost. I don't know how you see it, Mark.
No, you're allowed a kind of rucksack, like a handbag or a rucksack. You're not allowed a carry-on where...
Okay, so you pay extra for that.
Yeah, normally you've got a carry-on, a 10-kilo carry-on, yeah? I think it's...
So this is 7.
Yeah, 60. Is it 60 by 50 or by 40? But you are allowed a rucksack. So if you travel a rucksack, no problems. You're allowed that. But this is a carry-on. What they're saying now, Rich, is you're allowed a small carry-on, which is good news, Rich, because they're basically standardising the whole of the network, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, I find it funny when I go to airports and I see all these different sized baggage measurers, if that makes sense. You've got your Wizz Air, you've got your Ryanair, you've got your EasyJet, you've got your Jet2, you've got your TUI. Blimey, there's hundreds of them everywhere. You line them all up, and I can guarantee that they're all different sizes. Do you know what I mean? And so, if it's being standardised, then that's probably going to be a lot better and a lot easier for everybody.
Yeah, I think so, Rich. I mean, I've gone from taking a case to a carry-on. Now I take a rucksack, and I've just bought a brand new rucksack, actually. And I was doing a bit of research. The guy on the YouTube video I was watching, he was showing me all the different sizes, for, as you said, for Wizz, for EasyJet, for Ryanair. So, 7 kilos is a lot. You can fit a lot in 7 kilos, Rich, I tell you.
I was about to say, Mark, a pair of your trousers will fill a rucksack, wouldn't it?
No, a pair of my shoes fills a case, Rich. I'm a size 14 shoe, so that's always my problem. So the shoes kill me. But I travel around the world in the winter on a small rucksack, Rich. It's very easy. As long as you've got access to a washing machine.
Yeah, you can tell from Instagram, Mark.
Of course, mate. Of course. And on the other side of the coin, Rich, I had a friend stay with me a couple of weeks ago, and they were only here for 3 days, and they bought 2 suitcases with them.
Really?
2 suitcases. So you've got to be a bit careful. But I'm a big lover of traveling light, and it's an art form, Rich. It really is.
Yeah,
traveling light is an art form. It really is.
It is.
Now we talk about politics. Now I blogged about it today, Rich, and I've got to say this is probably my lowest reading figures for a blog for a long time.
Oh.
Yet it is probably the most important blog that I'm going to do this year, because Marcos Serra...
Breaking news.
Yeah, no, it's not breaking news really, but it just shows you that the people aren't bothered about these subjects, but they should be, and it's politics. Now, Marcos Serra, who is the young mayor of San Antonio, I say young, he's been in power for 8 years. He's 46 now, so he was 38 when he assumed power. And he's just announced that he's standing for re-election in May when it comes.
4 more years.
4 more years, yeah, 4 more years. Which I'm for it. I spoke to him quite a while ago. I said I think it's probably 4 more years. He's doing a good job. There's a lot of projects there that he wants to carry on, and I get that. And he announced at the weekend that he's going to stand for 4 more years. Now, the disconnect between, and this is what always amazes me, Rich, when especially the expats on the island, the British expats, if you do a blog or you make a conversation about some DJ's hair or something like that, you'll get 50 or 60 people comments. But when you say, Marcos Serra, the mayor's going to stand for 4 more years, they go, well, who cares? Well, I'll tell you something, you care, because he will make decisions that affect your daily life if you live in this town. So It's always amazed me. I'm going to go on a major drive now to get everybody signed up to vote, because I think it's so important that we vote. It really is. It's the one thing that an expat has on the island. That's, we only have one vote, which is in the municipalities. So it's really important. I'm a big fan of Marcos Serra. I'm a critic as well, but I think I give him positive feedback. In fact, I had a meeting today with one of his team and told him a few things which the British community are raising with me on our WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups. And I think it's a good thing, but also I just think expats need to get involved a little bit more and hold these politicians to account. That's the most important, Rich, because they work for us. You know, they're democratically elected. Even if they're not your side, then they still work for you because you're paying them with your taxes. And let's face it, taxes in Spain aren't going down, are they, Rich? They're only going in one direction, and we're paying more and more all the time. So, you know, I think it's really important that we hold these politicians to account. And if you're not happy, then go and make not a complaint, go and make an appointment, see somebody and get things done. So I think it's really good news. I'm a big fan of Marcos Serra. As I say, I ran with him for council in 2015. So say he's a friend of mine, but that doesn't mean he's absolved of criticism, because, you know, I've mentioned a few things to him over the years, and I've got to say he's very proactive, and I'm a big supporter.
I think it's important that UK people know, Mark, that regardless of whether you voted the last time or the time before that, as Brexit rules stand, you have to re-register your vote again. It doesn't mean that because you voted 4 years ago that you're immediately entitled to vote. Because of Brexit rules, that means we still have to re-register, and there's a certain window which will be coming up, I think, in about November or December, that people, UK people that live here, will have to re-register themselves. If you're an EU if you're part of, if you're German or you're Spanish or whatever, your vote gets carried on, which means you don't have to re-register. But we, as Brexiteers, another one of these, marvellous things that we've got from Brexit, we do have to register ourselves to be able to vote. And that's very, very important, because a lot of people won't think that. They'll just think, oh, yeah, well, I'm fine. I voted last time. No, you have to make sure that you re-register. And you also have to make sure that you are on the town's register. You're on the Padron, which is called as well. Because if you're not on the Padron, you won't be entitled to vote either.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Rich. And I spoke to the local government today because I wanted just to know the dates, because I remember I wasn't sure the last time of the year or the time before. It was December. So you only had up until December to register. And it's very easy. You go to the town hall, you give them your NIE number and you say, I want to register the vote. You sign a piece of paper and that's it. It's as simple as that. It's very easy, but it's really important that, as I said, if you're a third-party country such as the UK and you're on the Padron and you're a resident, then you do have the right to vote. So go and register. It's as simple as that.
Well, we talked a little bit earlier on about kids breaking up and holidays are coming, and lots of people like to buy, obviously, new clothes and everything before they come away. But word to the wise, lots of us want to go on holiday prepared with some good outfits, but you could save money on some clothes. I'm talking to people in the UK now with some advice that goes against conventional wisdom. If you're heading to Spain this summer and you get some of your clothes from Zara, you might be better off waiting until you're over here rather than buying them in the UK. The Spanish company sells items much cheaper over here, whether it's women's, men's, or kids' clothing. You can actually check out the prices. If you go, if you search in English on their Spanish website, you get an idea of how much you actually will save looking at the prices. And believe me, you will save if you're buying quite a lot of clobber, which Zara's not the cheapest, let's face it. You will save yourself money. So I'm talking to people from the UK. Buy it when you get here.
Basically. Yeah, buy it in Spain. I mean, and also, Rich, I'm a big Zara fan. I go to Zara all over the world. There you go, name drop. I've been all over the world, and the Zara usually is all over the world. Went to one in Tokyo, and it's kind of different prices and different styles. Went to one in Milan, went to one in Perth, went to one in Sydney. So, but I've got to say the best Zara is in Spain. It's as simple as that, because it's local. I think they're the number one business in the world, aren't they, Rich? If I'm not mistaken, clothing business anyway. Sorry, I'm sure they're not much bigger than. They're not bigger than Apple.
Bigger than Apple.
No, I'm not sure they're bigger than Elon Musk either. But
Tesla.
I think they're the number one clothing brand in the world, or the most profitable anyway. So, but Zara is really, really good. And as I said, the one in Ibiza, I was in there last week, and it was absolute rammed, Rich. There was queues everywhere, but the air conditioning there was fantastic, I've got to tell you. So if you want some respite, get yourself in Zara and get cooled down.
And another thing that, if you're coming from the UK, the pound is basically at its strongest level right now. It's been for quite a long time. It's 1.17, which, doesn't sound great. But to be honest with you, it's been down at 1.14, 1.13, 1.15. Yeah. It's been going up over the last 2-3 weeks. I know, because obviously I do this on the radio on a daily basis. So, you are getting more euros for your buck right now. So, once again, you'll save more money by buying here in Spain rather than buying back in the UK.
Legends of the Sea, Rich. Legends of the Sea. the largest cruise liner in the world is in your neck of the woods last week. So it went from...
I didn't get a chance to see it, actually, but unfortunately...
Well, I'm surprised you could miss it, Rich, the size of it. Did you see
true,
it?
Yeah.
I did the walk. Yeah. I did the YouTube walk round on it. And Jesus Christ, and I apologise to all you religious people out there, but wow, the size of it. It's got a full-on water park at the back. I mean, it really is massive. Now, I mean, I've done a little bit of research, and I really can't believe this, Rich, because I always think when you think of big boats, the Titanic comes to mind, doesn't it? The Titanic, because that was, well, I mean, from historically, that was the giant of the seas. Now, so I did a little bit of research. So Legends of the Sea compared to the Titanic, right? The Titanic was 269 meters long, and the Legend of the Seas is only 365 meters long. So we're talking about 95, just under 100 meters in length difference. Okay. However, this is the real shock of it. The tonnage of the Titanic was 46,000 tons. The tonnage of Legend of the Seas is 250,000 tons. So basically, it's 5 times bigger than the Titanic. It's as simple as that. And the Titanic used to have, or could have, 3,300 people. And Legends of the Seas, how many do you think passengers and crew, Rich? Go on.
I don't know, and I've not read the story either. So, I don't know, 7.5?
Yeah, I mean, you're not a million miles away. 10,000 including crew. So I think you got 7,000 passengers and 3,000 crew, which is in itself is incredible, isn't it, as well? So it's got 20 decks, the Legends of the Seas. It's got 40 restaurants and bars, 7 swimming pools, and the largest water park ever built on the sea. I've got to tell you, Rich, I don't like them. I really don't. They don't sit well with me. I mean, not that they care, but I just don't like them. The wastage that they must be doing on a day. I mean, all that food that's wasted on a daily basis. You could probably feed, some third world countries with that. I mean, I don't want to get on my high horse, but I'm not a massive lover of it. And the waste that probably goes into the sea is I don't even want to think about it. But we are where we are with it, Rich. It's interesting when you said that Palmer only allows certain boats in at certain times. I think that's good. I don't think we can allow these giants to take over our islands and our cities, our port cities, should I say. So, but Legend of the Seas, I mean, if you see it, well, you won't miss it, will you? Because it is enormous, Rich. The largest cruise ship in the world.
But once again, I will go back to, talking about the sustainability side of things and everything else. Let's not forget that these ships, when they come in, will need to be provisioned, will need to be looked after. Do you know what I mean? So there are a lot of people that are working down on the port that are gaining employment from the fact that these cruise ships are coming in. So I think it's I think it's on the one hand, you look at the sustainability and you go, not sure, but on the other hand, you think, yeah, well, it is part of what we're doing, and we do limit them now. We do limit them because it was 5 or 6, used to be 5 or 6 a day in Palma. Now it's only 3, of which only 1 can be like one of these mega ships. So we have looked at it and we have acted on it, which I think is good.
Yeah, I mean, Rich, let me be clear. I'm not anti-cruises at all. I think cruises are great. I think, cruising around the Med and waking up in a new destination every day is great. I'm just against these 10,000 people. That's not a cruise ship, Rich. That's a floating city.
That's a Derby County home game, isn't it?
Well, mate, we got a bit more than that, to be honest. Second highest average in the championship last year. But 10,000 people, Rich, in a boat. I mean, that's not a cruise, Rich. That's something else. So as I said, I'm not against cruises. I think they're a really good product. It's just where's it going to stop, Rich? What's the next one going to be? Is it going to be 20,000 people? Is it going to be 30,000 people? I mean, come on. We're going to have a little bit of a common sense here. So as I said, Legend of the Seas, Royal Caribbean. I've only been on 2 cruises. I've been on Royal Caribbean twice. So they are a good concept. They are a good product. But come on, let's stop building these massive ships and maybe more informal ships. I like those ones that go down the Danube. Those 150, 200 people.
So you're getting old, Mark. That's why.
Me.
You're getting the saga leaflets coming in, aren't you? That's what it is.
I'm an old romantic, Rich. What can I say? Oh dear. Come on, finish this off with football, Rich. Come on.
Yeah, you can't listen. We're not talking. We're not talking around Mallorca. Yeah, exactly. We're not talking around Mallorca, but we are talking football tonight. It's Spain against France. The Spanish are obviously very excited tonight. Yeah. We are 3 hours from kickoff, basically, as we speak right now. So looking forward to that game. I think my head says France, my heart says Spain for tonight's game.
I'm with you on that one, Rich. 100%.
I think it'll be quite close because I think. I'm not quite sure there'll be many goals tonight. I don't know. I think it'd be quite tight, to be perfectly honest. Might go to extra time and penalties as well. I think they're both very good teams on their day. France have probably hit their day better than Spain have. And I still worry. I was talking to someone about this morning on Talk Sport, actually.
You're on Talk Sport today?
No, sorry. I had somebody from TalkSport on my show this morning, and he's one of the commentators, called a guy called Adam Bridge, and Adam's been commentating on some of the World Cup games. He's finished now, obviously, because they're all over in the States now. But I worry about Unai Simon. Both you and I, Mark,
Raya's such a better keeper, isn't he?
Well, we both have sons that are goalkeepers, and we I think we do understand goalkeeping in some sort of way, and Bilbao finished 12th in the league last season. I liken Unai Simon to a bit like Pickford. He's a good goalkeeper, don't get me wrong, but no big club has ever come in for him, and likewise for Pickford as well, and picked him up and gone, right, you are going to be our number one.
Yeah.
Bilbao finished 12th in the league. You've got Juan Garcia and also David Raya, who both finished top of Juan Garcia with Barcelona in La Liga, and Raya, of course, with Arsenal. And I'm just worried that
it's hard to believe that Raya is their third choice keeper. Isn't it?
Really hard. That's true.
I'd probably pick Raya over Pickford as well. I hate to say it, but I'd probably pick Raya because I think he's a better keeper than Pickford. So, Rich, I'm going to go. I'm going to book the trend here. I'm going to say 3-1 France and 3-1 England. There you go. I think if France open up, which they could do, if they get an early goal, then I hate to say it, but since day one, I said it was going to be a France-Argentina final, and my head says that, my heart says Spain versus England. So, but I do think England tomorrow, we are due a performance, Rich, because we haven't really had a performance since the second half of Croatia, not even at 20 minutes in the Croatia match. So I just hope we can turn it on the right time. I mean, you never know. And it wouldn't surprise me if both matches go to penalties either, Rich. So let the best team win, but I just can't see anybody topping France at the moment, Rich. They're head and shoulders above every other team in the tournament.
I pretty much agree with you, but once again, I'd still like my heart to rule my head and go a Spain-England final, which would be great because obviously European Championships 2 years ago we lost. Of course, I think they did outplay us, but I don't think they're that team right now. To be honest with you,
Yamal's not fit, and Nico Williams isn't fit either, or they're not at 100% fitness, should I say? So I would absolutely love a Spain-England final.
Right now, Mark, we've got luck on our side. I think we've got to the semi-finals and we haven't really played well at all.
We haven't played. So,
do you know what I mean? So we, as you rightly say, we are due a performance. I'd like the performance actually to be in the final rather than semi. I'd just like to go through the back door on the semi and then get into the final and actually play brilliantly and win it. That would be a fantastic thing. Oh no, yeah. I mean, laughingly enough, it's now 60 years of Hurt rather than 30 when the first song first came out.
Yeah, I mean, here's my story, which I kind of had flights boxed off to Miami last weekend, and I thought I had a ticket. I didn't get let down because I was never guaranteed a ticket, but I thought I was going to get one. Didn't get one, so I put it out there, Richard, of tickets. And a friend of mine, Dave, who listens to the podcast, so hi Dave, he messaged me quite excited saying a mate of his got 2 spare tickets, and I was like, this is it, this is the one. I was getting excited because friends of friends, they might want face value with a little bit more. And in my head, I probably had like £1,000 for the ticket. I thought I'll happily pay £1,000 for the ticket. Then he comes on to me. He said, I've got 2 tickets for you. Guess how much they were each, Rich? Go on.
2.5.
£9,000 each they were. 9,000. He said, I mean, they were hospitality tickets. I kind of get it. And then actually on the day before the quarterfinal, I found some for £1,500, but it was a bit too late by then, Rich, to be honest. So, so I think I'm just going to watch it at home in the air condition on my own, focus on the football, not on the people around me. And
nice glass of red.
Yeah, I think so, Rich. I just get too nervous. When I'm in company, I just get too nervous anyway. So, the nerves are absolutely shot at the moment. So, hopefully my son will be around with me. He'll be watching Spain with his mates tonight, obviously all his Spanish mates. And then hopefully Spain will bring it home tonight. I think they're underdogs. And then tomorrow, the big one. I think, as you said, we should beat Argentina, but you know what it's like in a one-off match. Anything can happen.
Agreed.
Oh God, the nerves are jangling just talking about it, Richard. You see, I've got my England top on as well. Got my 82 England top on as well. So listen, mate. Next time that we have this podcast, we are going to be,
well, we could be World Cup winners, Mark.
We could be, or we could be absolutely disappointed and get gubbed out, falling in the semis or the final. So let's let the dice roll. I just want the best team to win, as long as it's England.
Good, Mark.
All right, Richie.
Have a good week.
Always a pleasure, Rich.
And to you, Mark. Take care.
Listen, have a good week, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.
See you, mate.
Make me dance.